From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Welcome to Ticats Today for this Thursday, December 14th, 2023. I'm Brayden Neville. A big announcement from the CFL today. The schedule has been released for the 2024 season. And joining me to break down the schedule is Louie B. Louie, good to have you back on the show, pal.
A true honor to be back on the program here, Brayden. Thanks for having me. And I just wanted to give you your flowers and shout out all the hard work you've done this past year. I know how much work goes into this program, having done it myself for a few years. So great year of content in the books, buddy.
Hey, Lou, I appreciate it, man. And like I said, it's a tough act to follow, but I hope I can be half as good as you were when you did this job.
Oh, man. Look, you got me blushing through the phone here. Thanks, buddy.
Anyways, enough about us here. The CFL schedule is out. That first game of the season, the Ticats will be in Calgary. Potential for Bo Levi Mitchell to return to Calgary. What do you think about that, Lou?
I mean, if you're Bo Levi Mitchell, isn't that just your biggest motivation ever to be able to get back in shape and be the guy you want to be? And obviously people have talked a lot about Bo, and there's speculation about what's going to happen next year. But the guy's only 33 years old. If he's back, he's going to be back in the best shape of his life. He's going to be back with a full knowledge of the way Scott Milanovich wants to work the offense, and I think this would be a great way to kick off 2024 in Calgary, on the road, a hostile environment for the Cats. But that would just be a picture perfect start to the season, and fingers crossed that we get to see it.
The scriptwriters were working overtime on this one, I think, Lou, and I think it would be great to see a Bo W in Calgary. There'd be really nothing better for the Ticats and for especially Bo Levi Mitchell. Season opener the following week against Saskatchewan in Hamilton on Father's Day. Be a great day for the dads to get out there and check out a game. What do you think about this start, Louie, at home against Saskatchewan? A little bit different than normal.
Yeah, Sunday night, some Sunday night football. And, there's a reason that, in the U.S. and I guess North America, the number one program on television is Sunday night football. It's it's part of people's routine already, and I'm really encouraged to see the CFL really take advantage of scheduling games on Sundays, because people are conditioned to watch football on Sundays. And if you want to grow the game in the States, if you want to grow the audience for more casual fans who are not quite diehards, you got to put it on times where it makes sense to watch. And like I said, people are pretty conditioned to watch football on Sundays. And if you get people in June to watch football on Sunday nights, that'd be great. And under the lights at Tim Hortons Field is always a great time. And add on the fact it's going to be Father's Day. You add on the fact it's going to be the home opener. I don't have to tell Ticats fans, some of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. So, that's one definitely people got circled on their calendar, and it'll be interesting to see how this Sunday night experiment works out. Again, I said I'm nobody, but I've been pushing and saying, but on the outlets I do have that. I thought it'd be a missed opportunity for them not to do it on Sundays. And as we can see by the Ticats schedule, quite a few Sunday games, especially early on in the year. And I'm a big fan of the Sunday night football, and luckily get to see it a couple times this year.
I think those listening and those who were listening when you were hosting the show, Louie, know that you've been one of those advocates for the Sunday football. You and me always talking about Sunday football, texting back and forth about the games and what's going on for the NFL and when the CFL is playing. So it'd be great to see a lot more of those Ticats Sunday games. And we have a lot of them because the next Sunday, the Ticats travel to Saskatchewan. So going in a little bit of home and home here, and they're going to be traveling to Saskatchewan to take on the Rough Riders in Sask. So back-to-back against Saskatchewan, Lou. Another Sunday game. And then I believe after that, we have Hamilton versus Ottawa on a Sunday again in Ottawa. Yeah. So that'll be the first time the Ticats actually play an East Division opponent is in Ottawa, and that's on week 4. So, I mean, a little bit of an interesting start to this season, and I think it's all games that potentially the Ticats could win if you look at how they did last year against these teams, Lou.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 straight Sunday night games for the Cats there between week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. But getting to that Ottawa game, the one thing that was pointed out to me, 3 of the first 4 are are on the road. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously not easy to start on the road. Calgary's crowd's going to be great there for their home opener.
Yeah.
And then, Saskatchewan, obviously always great crowds in Saskatchewan. And so, I can definitely see a chance for the Cats to pick up wins, but they're not going to be guaranteed wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saskatchewan's going to be with a new head coach and a new system and some
Yep.
extra motivation. I can definitely see the Cats going, 3-1 during that first 4 games. I think that's a realistic expectation. But yeah, I mean, 3 of those games being on the road, it's not going to be easy, but definitely a chance for the Cats to pick up some wins early on, which has been a bit of a struggle for them in recent years.
And in that Ottawa game, going up against former offensive coordinator Tommy Condell too, so an interesting little storyline there you can look at. And then you have BC at Hamilton the following week. I mean, we've seen what BC can do last season or the season before that. Vernon Adams was excellent. Another exciting game. And a little bit earlier than we saw last year, BC was pretty late to Hamilton last season. So that'll be a great one to watch. The Ticats then have their bye week the following week, and then they're right back to take on the Toronto Argonauts in Hamilton on July 24th. The rivalry continues, the battle of the QEW. What do you think about that first game? It's a little later than normal between these two teams.
Yeah, for sure. Week 7, got to wait to see those Argos, but Saturday night, it's perfect. You're used to watching some hockey on Saturday nights in the winter. You can watch some football Saturday nights in the summer. And again, I think if they did a great job in the schedule, getting basically as many games as they can under the lights at Tim Hortons Field, because it is always such a great atmosphere there. You get that little extra time to maybe get a few more pregame beverages in, maybe a Lot E. I know the Box J boys take well advantage of the 7 p.m. kickoff, so shout out to them. But yeah, you're going to know who the Argos are. You're going to have an idea of who you are. And that, week 7, you're seeing the Argos for the first time. That's going to be a big one. And you mentioned that just the East Division opponents, 4 of the first 5 games against the West.
Yep.
I think, that one's going to be a big one because you're going to need those divisional wins.
Yeah, huge. And the Lot E boys, the Fox J boys.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, basically the Lot
One
E
and the
boys.
same, yeah.
They're making their way over to the field eventually, but no, it'll be a fun one, and it's going to be exciting to see. Following that, Lou, we have an interesting matchup, Hamilton traveling to Edmonton and to take on Trey Ford and the Edmonton Elks. We don't know how they're going to be next year. That'll be a good one. But then the following week, back in Hamilton, Montreal, the Grey Cup champions, return to Hamilton for the first time since winning the Grey Cup last year. A big game. I'm excited for that one. It's going to be fun to watch these two teams play. They've had some battles in the playoffs over the years, and it's all going to be coming back here next year, and it'll start in Hamilton.
Yeah, huge. Week 9, week 10, home and home with the Montreal Alouettes, and those are going to be 2 big games. We talk about how big divisional games are. We saw how big the tiebreakers are. We know how parity can be a factor when it comes to that East Division and what the difference a tiebreaker can make. You're only going to see Montreal twice this year. You see the other East Division opponents 3 times, that being the Argos and the Red Blacks. So yeah, maybe the schedule makers try and do the Ticats a favor by giving the Grey Cup champs only twice on back-to-back weeks. But that'll be interesting. It'll almost be like an aggregate series, right? Especially with that tiebreaker playing back-to-back, and you're not going to see them again until possibly the playoffs after that. So 2 big games in August for sure to kick off the week there, or to kick off the month against the Alouettes. Should be interesting for sure. And definitely 2 games that Scott Milanovich has probably already got circled on his calendar, because those division games are huge.
Yeah, and then they're back against Edmonton, and of course, the tough one after that. They got Winnipeg in Winnipeg. That's in week 12. We all know how these Winnipeg-Hamilton matchups have gone. They've almost created a rivalry over, not almost, they have created a rivalry over these years, but back in Winnipeg for perhaps one of the toughest games on the schedule each year in that week 12 matchup. And then they're back in Hamilton for the greatest game of them all, the Labor Day Classic, Lou. Toronto versus Hamilton. Do you like the start time, and what do you think about that one?
Yeah, absolutely. A 2:30 kickoff from Tim Hortons Field should be great. It's always a great time on Labor Day. Arkells famously said Christmas might as well come on Labor Day.
Yep.
So there you go. 2:30, a great kickoff time for me. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who really like getting into a routine on that Labor Day. Kids going back to school on the Tuesday. So 2:30 kickoff, and again, one of just 3 games against the Argos this season. It's going to be a big one, considering how whatever happens in that Week 7 matchup. You're going to either want to get back in the season series, or you're going to want to claim it right then and there. So that one's going to be a big one for sure, because that one's going to basically determine the season series between these two teams. So Labor Day, Argos couldn't ask for much better. Just fingers crossed the weather is going to be as perfect as we love it there at Tim Hortons Field on Mondays, Labor Day Mondays.
We have the bye week following that, but one after that, I'm excited for. Being from the Ottawa Valley in that area, is Ottawa and Hamilton on the Saturday at 4 p.m. I absolutely love that. A Saturday game, 4 p.m. And it'll be a nice way to come off that bye week against an East Division opponent.
Yeah, Hall of Fame game as always. Well, yeah, bodies coming in and legends. You got the ceremony the Friday night before, and that one obviously Labor Day, Hall of Fame game. Always a marquee weekend at Tim Hortons Field. And you got the Red Blacks, again, another good East opponent that, like you mentioned earlier, Tommy Condell now with the Ottawa Red Blacks. Not just Tommy, but we know Sean Burke, Berkey, of course, with the Red Blacks, and all the other former Ticats that now call Ottawa home. They get up for those games. They love coming back to Hamilton and trying to quiet the crowd. But that one will definitely be, I'm really looking forward to that one, like I say, because it's Hall of Fame game, just to welcome back Tommy Condell, get to see him, in different colors will be a little bit weird, but each East Division opponent. It's in the middle of a stretch of 3 straight against the East, because you got the Argos on the road the next week. So that one coming off the bye week, Hall of Fame, should be a great one, and definitely one you're wanting to get to.
Yeah, that Toronto Argonauts game, that'll be the final meeting between the two teams. It could be a potential rubber match. We don't know. We don't know how the season series is going to go, but that could be a huge game, especially playoff implication wise. In this closing few games, Lou, they got Calgary, they have Ottawa at the end of the season. You look at this schedule. I mean, it's pretty interesting because they're playing every single team at least once at Tim Hortons Field. Do you like what they did with that?
Love it. Huge fan of the balanced schedule. I think this league is so unique in the fact that there's only 9 teams. And I think if you can't make a balanced schedule in which you get to see every team once, something's going wrong. So the fact that, every team's going to get to come into Tim Hortons Field, like I say, even a casual fan, even if you're not, a Ticats fan, Saskatchewan fans always travel well. I know some Saskatchewan fans who live in Hamilton. The thing about the thing I love that makes this league great is the accessibility, and part of that is getting to see your favorite teams and your favorite players, even if they're not the Hamilton Tiger Cats or on the Ticats. So love the fact that everybody's coming into Hamilton. Love the fact you're not seeing the Argos 4 times. You're not seeing the Alouettes 4 times. I mean, you likely will in the playoffs. You'll see them one more time, but 4 times in the regular season, like no 3 times in 4 weeks, which we've seen the last few years. Huge fan of the balanced schedule.
Yeah.
Huge fan of the Thursday to Sunday. I think that's great. I think there's only 1 week in which that doesn't happen this season, week 7, in which there's a game every single night. But I'd be remiss if we do not mention the ultimate pain in the butt that I will keep fighting until the day I
knew you were going to mention it.
Associated with this league. I know you tried to get past it, but why? Why is there a Hamilton team? Why is there an East Coast team playing at 10:30 p.m.? I get it. It might be an advantage for BC, but it is so. I think it is so bad for fans. I don't like staying up till 1 o'clock. I'm sorry. I like going.
You're
to
an
bed
old man,
early.
Louie. You're an old man.
I know it's a Friday night, but I would not forgive myself if I didn't just have that one little criticism of the schedule. That being that 10:30 p.m. kickoff. And listen, I don't even do the pregame shows anymore. I don't do the postgame shows anymore. I really didn't like it when I was doing that. I still don't like it. But yeah, maybe it's not as bad now that I don't have to be in the press conferences afterwards.
Well, Louie, tell us how you really feel, man.
I know, right?
Oh, you'll need a cup of coffee, maybe a shot of espresso, an energy drink. Get something in you to watch that game.
Yeah.
You're not that old, Lou. Come on,
Sure,
you can
buddy.
watch some late night football. This is the 10th season at Tim Hortons Field. Season tickets are available right now for Ticats fans, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I know we're still far away, Louie, but I'm looking forward to seeing this Ticats team already. But we gotta get through Christmas and a little bit of time here first, Lou. But Louie, thanks for joining me today, man. It's always great to have you on the show and get you back here on Ticats today, buddy.
Appreciate being on. Thanks, brother.